welcome back to the Real Positive Girl podcast. My name is Sabrina. Happy Monday to you, all my friends. I hope that you're having a fantastic start to your week, a good Monday. And I know that it's like so cliche and, I'm not even sure the other word I'm thinking of right now, but it's kind of cliche to be like, Mondays are terrible. People have the case of the Mondays. A lot of people don't look forward to Mondays when in reality, I know a lot of people that look forward to Mondays, including myself, because I feel like it gives you a fresh start. You have the ability to start fresh. I mean, you have the ability to start fresh every single moment of the day if you choose to. However, the top of the week, it's like opening a fresh pack of something brand new that you really love and taking the seal off and being like, oh, so sparkly and shiny, and I'm really excited to use this. And that's kind of how I look at Mondays. It's an opportunity to really start the week off with positivity, with things going well. And even if bad things happen and troubles come and issues arise, you're still doing your best and doing your due diligence to start the week off in the best fashion that you can, and to continue and set the tone. You're setting the tone for the week. So I just encourage you to think of it that way if you are someone that's not a fan of Mondays. But again, happy Monday. I hope that you are having a good day, and just remember that if you're not having a good day, like I said a moment ago, you can reset your day any time of the day, and the way to do that is to do the 5-minute reset, which is taking at least 5 minutes to be by yourself, to kind of just shake off any issues, problems, burdens that you have. Just really restarting your day, rebooting. It's a reset, which you're welcome to do multiple times a day, week, month, or year, and just kind of like letting yourself breathe a little bit. Because when we get all bogged down with other people's problems or issues that arise and things that we have to fix, we kind of feel like we are not able to breathe, like we're being suffocated or even like we're drowning. So I encourage you to take a moment just to shake that off and feel free from that. In addition, if you have time, I would encourage you to problem solve whatever problems and issues are arising so that you're able to have a good rest of your day the next day and just be able to get over the hump of those issues and move on. Also, I always encourage everyone to make a list of at least 4 things, make more if you have time, but at least 4 things that you are grateful for, and those can be big things, small things, medium-sized things. It could be grateful for having a picnic on a nice summer day this weekend, being able to walk your dog, your gym finally opening back up, yay, and being able to go back to that, making dinner with your family, going out on the lake, whatever it may be, you can be grateful for it, which means that you'll have a never-ending list of things that you can be grateful for, which is an added bonus and benefits. So make your gratitude list, and then in addition to that, make sure that you're able to leave your 5-minute reset time feeling at least neutral, if not positive, about the rest of the day, so that you don't pass along your bad mood to anyone else, but in addition, that you're able to just focus on the good things that are happening in your life. By doing your quick gratitude list, you're able to shift your mindset and refocus on things that are going well in your life instead of focusing so hard on all the negative things that are happening, all the bad things that are happening. So I encourage you to be able to walk away feeling at least neutral, if not positive, about the rest of your day. And just remember that, I'm not here to diminish your feelings, but whatever you're going through, there are still amazing, wonderful things happening in your life. And it's easier just to focus on those more. And then when you're able to really be in the mindset to solve all the problems that are coming up for you, then take that time and make that shift. But just remember, there are still amazing things happening to you despite the bad things. But I do hope that you actually are having a fantastic day. This week on the podcast, we are going to be talking about regaining self-worth. And, as I've told you, I have a whole list running of topics that I want to, and I'm excited to talk about here on the podcast. But this week I decided to do self-worth because I found it to be something that's super important, obviously, to everyone, no matter the circumstances that you're going through. But I don't know, I just felt like it was really appropriate, especially since things in the world may feel like they're not necessarily getting better. And, that might actually influence your self-worth because of changes that have happened in your life because of the pandemic and everything like that. So, and just overall, it's important to learn about that, to figure out what destroys it, what builds it up, how you can practice it, how it benefits you. So that's what I want to talk about. But today, Monday, we are going to specifically talk about starting with self-love. So let's go ahead and just jump right in. This week, we are going to speak heavily on the importance of self-worth, what breaks it down and what builds it up, and how it benefits our everyday lives. But I wanted to speak briefly on self-love first, as this will help in your quest and journey to regain self-worth. And I thought it would be a great jumping off point before we dive super deep into self-worth. Self-love is important because you're responsible to take care of yourself. Despite anyone loving you, wanting to take care of you, especially if you have someone that's super codependent in your life, they definitely want to go out of their way to take care of you, but it's not their responsibility. And it would be really nice and courteous of you to remind them of that in a nice way. But you are still the one that needs to do it. You need to take the time to care for yourself so you can accomplish everything you set out to do and to have the capacity to care for others. So they always say that saying of you can't pour from an empty glass. So you have to spend the time actually working on yourself, filling yourself up, so that you're ready to serve other people, and it's just like the example of being on an airplane and they tell you to put your mask on first before you help anyone else with their mask, because if you don't put yours on first and you go to try to help someone else, but then you end up not being able to finish the job because you didn't put yours on first and you weren't able to get the oxygen flowing and keep yourself alert, then you're really not helping yourself, not helping them, not being able to help anyone else. So it's important to fill yourself up and work on yourself and love yourself and make sure that you are full before you can go and help someone else be filled up. So just remember that. And the idea of self-love is that you are putting your happiness first and taking care of yourself. You are validating yourself, giving yourself unconditional respect, acceptance, and affirmations that you are doing great, which is really important. You need to remind yourself that you are doing great, you are doing the best that you can. Maybe there's a few areas in your life where you could try a little harder, where you could do a little better. I feel like we all need to have those real talks with ourselves where we're like, okay, listen, you're patting yourself on the back, but you could try a little bit harder. Let's try to figure that out and work that in. But yeah, you want to have unconditional respect for yourself. You want to accept yourself for who you are, because we're all different and there is no need for you to continually chase trying to be like someone else. I understand if someone is used as like a role model or an example, but that's all and where it should end. You shouldn't be trying to go out there and become a carbon copy of someone, because that person already exists. And despite the fact that that person may get so much love and care and respect and riches and all of these things, it does not promise you that you will get those things just because you end up turning into them. Because why would someone want to continue to extend those things to a second person that's like that? They already have done that to the first person. And it's unrealistic. So I want to make sure I hit that home. But again, self-love is a necessity in life and something everyone should make time for and prioritize. So, people talk about self-care, self-love, and all these things and putting yourself first. And I definitely want to, I slip my reminder in there as well. It has to come first, because as selfless as you want to be and caring and loving and there for people, I understand. I am definitely a people pleaser by nature. However, it will burn you out to the point that you're not able to do that, and it'll take you a long time to crawl back to the point where you can even do that for yourself, let alone anyone else. So you could really just stop that terrible train and journey that you're on with just burning yourself down to the ground and not being able to help anyone, including yourself. Well, just picking yourself up, start working on yourself, and then you can spend all your energy going out there and helping other people, as long as you help yourself first. And know that all your personal needs deserve to be met. They absolutely do. You have to know that in your heart. You have to know that just because you're different, or you might make less money, or you might not feel like you have as respectable of a job, or you are not married yet, you don't have kids, or you don't drive the flashiest car, and your bank account isn't like 7 digits long or something like that. You have to know that no matter what, no matter who you are, your personal needs deserve to be met, and do not let anyone tell you differently because they're just jealous, or they're just projecting their own insecurities onto you because they don't know how to deal with it. That is very common. I want you to know, again, your personal needs deserve to be met no matter what. And that you are worthy of just as much as the next person. Again, just because you're different, just because you're younger, you're older, you're speak a different language, you're in a different country, you grew up with different expectations and experiences, it doesn't mean that you're not worthy of the same things that someone else is, and maybe you might experience in a different way, but you're still worthy of the same things despite who you are and where you are in the world. You're also deserving of happiness and super valuable in this world. Every single person in this world deserves to be happy. You have to make your own happiness, though. You can't count on someone else to create that for you. That's just not right at all. That is definitely stepping over boundaries, and so is that person that's aligning with that ideal of trying to make you happy. They need to create their own boundaries as well. But also just know that every single person in this world, including you, is super valuable in this world. You definitely play a part. You need to know and own that and bring your own special skills and amazing qualities into this world, because it's necessary and beneficial to so many people, probably a lot more people than you know. It's that idea of like, maybe you gave someone some money on the street, or a sandwich, or just even a smile, and you may never see that person again, and you will not know how far those things will go. Just think, I know this is going to be a really dramatic example, but it's a true one. So let's say you're walking down the street, you see someone, they look sad, you smile at them, you say hello or good afternoon, but then you just keep going. You don't do anything else. You're just extending a really nice welcome and a hi and a smile and kindness through a couple words in your facial expression. Now, what you may not know about that person that you extended that kindness to is that they were feeling super depressed, suicidal ideation was happening, and they might have been on their way to try to hurt themselves, to try to kill themselves. I know this is really dark, but this is actually like real life examples. So let's say that they were on their way to do that, but then you smiled at them. You showed them kindness, you said hello to them. You acknowledged them. Maybe they haven't felt like they've been acknowledged in the world. Maybe no one smiled at them. And, you might be like, oh, that's super dramatic. Like, just one smile is going to stop someone from doing that. It might, though. It might. You never know. And I just think that I understand there's going to be days where we don't want to smile at anyone, and we're going to walk around with a frown, just like that person is. But just know that if you can extend kindness and happiness to someone else and give them a smile, you will be benefiting them much more than you know. But that's just another reason why you're valuable. It's just like everyone has something to impart into this world, a major talent, abilities, ideals, opinions. And I just want you to remember and know that you are super valuable. Every single person is. You don't know how you're going to touch another person in the world. I mean, like, spiritually and emotionally. And you don't know what kind of difference you can make for anyone that you interact with. So just remember that and know how amazingly valuable you are in this world. So here are some ideas on how to practice self-love and really take care of your own needs. I just have a quick short list for us to go over, and then we'll be done here. So first, stop your negative talk. And also, just so you know, this whole list of probably things that I said in the past. So if you are an avid listener of this podcast, none of this is going to surprise you probably. But so stop negative self-talk. You want to love yourself, right? So you can't be the person that's bringing yourself down all the time. You can't be like, oh my gosh, I'm so fat, I'm so ugly, I'm not talented, I'm not smart. No wonder no one wants to be my friend or date me, or why I'm not married and I'm 35, and all of these things, right? You need to stop saying all these negative things, because it's bad enough that those negative thoughts and opinions might come from someone else in the world, someone that you interact with, or just, what what may happen, how those people would give you their negative feedback and opinions. So it's bad enough coming from the world that you do not need to jump on the train as well. And I honestly believe that we are our own worst critics. We're the ones saying the worst things that could possibly be said to us inside of our minds. So we definitely need to stop that and start imparting positive things, positive affirmations, telling ourselves how much we love each other, how much we love ourselves, rather, how much other people love us, how smart we are, how capable we are, how we have the strength to get through all of these different obstacles and troubles and issues that have come up, and how we're growing and learning and becoming a better person. So please stop with the negative talk if you want to practice self-love. The next one is to focus on your achievements and successes. So, as a community of people all over the world, I feel like it's so common for us to focus and hone in on all the negative things that are happening, because just think, like, if you go to a group of people and you're like, oh my gosh, let me tell you what happened, I feel like 75% of the time it is a negative story that you're about to tell than a positive. You're not going to run in and be like, oh my gosh, guys, listen, guess what? On my way here, I saw a butterfly and it was beautiful. Like, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this person didn't hold the door for me, or they're super rude, or this person gave me like a really mean look or called me a name. And we always want to harp on the negative things, but I want to encourage you to flip the script and think about and focus about your achievements, your successes, the things that you've done right. Because in addition to focusing on negative things that may have happened to you, you're also focusing on the things that you are failing at, that you're not able to achieve your goals and hit your milestones. But and I'm not saying you need to ignore those things, because it does take a little bit of time and focus for you to work on those things so they can become better. But I think it would also be beneficial to you and to you having the strength, the mindset to continue to push through and keep going if you focus on the things that you've actually achieved and found success in, because you'll be like, well, I was able to figure that out, and I was able to get to and finish that goal and achieve that thing. And you have to continually remind yourself of all the amazing things that you are doing and you have done to push you to continue on in the current projects and journeys that you are on right now that seem really hard. They don't seem like they're going to work out. It just seems like you want to just give up. You have to remind yourself that you've already achieved so many things, and this is just going to be another checkbox on the list of amazing things that you are going to be able to look back at it and see as a success or an achievement. So please focus more on the achievements and successes than the failures and the negative parts of your life. Next one is not a surprise. It's something that I talk about, I think, every week now, is set personal boundaries. And as I say every single time, if you want to hear all about how to set personal boundaries and why those are super important, I encourage you to go back in the episodes and look for the week where I talk about personal boundaries. I talk about it for 5 days straight, and you'll get a lot of information there. But let me just sprinkle in a little bit of knowledge here. Personal boundaries are absolutely amazing for self-love, because you are drawing your personal boundary lines of where you need to stay in, or where you can maybe be a little flexible, and where you need to not step out. You're making the decisions on what you should say no to and what you should say yes to, and how people treat you, and what you're going to accept and what you're not going to accept for your personal self, and how you're going to let people in, how you're not going to let people in, how you're going to decipher what kind of opinions and feedback comes to you, and how you're going to deal with that. You need to set personal boundaries. Also, you're not going to let people take advantage of you. You're not going to be responsible for other people's emotions, actions, decisions. You are going to be responsible for yourself. So I just encourage you, if you want to practice self-love, for sure, set personal boundaries. The next one is to ask for help when you need it. This is such an important one to note, because if you love yourself enough, you're not going to waste your time. You are going to try your hardest to do whatever you need to do and get it done. And maybe you'll take some time doing some research, you'll Google it, you'll try to figure out how to get whatever it is done, but then you'll come to the end of your rope, and you need to make the decision to not be stubborn and just sit there and wait for you to figure it out or to someone to come to you and offer their help. No, you need to step outside of your ego and you need to ask someone for help, because number one, that means you're going to waste less time trying to figure out how to do it. You're going to definitely get more expertise than you probably thought you were going to, because they might give you some tips and some extra help that you could use for the future. Also, it'll just be better for you to include someone else in whatever amazing thing, an achievement and goal that you're trying to do, or something that you're trying to fix or work on. Like, there's nothing wrong with having that kind of community and get together and asking for help and drawing on other people's skills and blessing them with the opportunity to help you and use their skills, because a lot of people, when they're really good at something, they want to use those skills. They want to help as many people as possible. So this might sound really weird, but honestly, if you ask someone to help you with something that they're really good at, you are blessing them with the opportunity to use their skill as much as possible, because they want to get out there. They want to do it. They want to help other people. So give other people that opportunity, and you're also helping yourself and caring for yourself, because you're not wasting your time and you're getting it done. The next one is to practice gratitude. I know I talk about this at the top of every single show, where I talk about making a list of at least 4 things that you are grateful for. And I encourage that for self-love. You want to be grateful for where you are in life. I know a lot of people, including myself, get really frustrated because we feel like we are not where we want to be in life right now. We always want to skip ahead and go to the next part because we don't necessarily realize what we're learning right now, what we're going through right now is super beneficial and how it will help us in the future. And, that can be really frustrating. But I just encourage you to be grateful for the season of life that you're currently in. Be grateful for everything that you have right now, that you've been able to do, the people that are in your life, the experiences that you're going through, even the hard times, because those hard times are definitely going to help you grow and become stronger and teach you things that you will need to know in the future, maybe help you develop skills that you'll need in the future or now or soon. But yeah, you need to practice gratitude, because you need to realize that despite all the negative things that are happening in your life, there are still things to be grateful for. There are still amazing blessings happening to you, and you just have to continue to recognize them, so that you can change and shift your mindset and perspective to be more positive. But also, I feel like by doing that, you'll also be able to be blessed with more things to be grateful for. The last one is to I think I was going to say something else, and then I didn't know what it was, and then here we are. So let's just go. So the last one that I want to mention for practicing self-love is to let go of what you can't control. Oh, this is a hard one, because I'm a control freak, and I know many people out there are. And whether you have admitted it to yourself or not, you might be one. And I know I am one. And I am totally fine telling the whole entire world that. It's something that I'm struggling with, but that I feel like I'm getting better at every single day. But you have to let go of the things you can't control, because there's so much unnecessary stress and tension and just anxiety with trying to control things you can't control, or that you feel like you can and maybe you could, but it would take too much time and effort, and it's just unreasonable for you to want to control those things. And so I encourage you to find a way to just let them go. And I find that if you take some time to maybe meditate or just pray or close your eyes and really think about your life and wonder, if you had control of those things, would they make your life better? And is the effort that you're putting towards controlling those things making your life better? And if it's not, or if you say, oh, it will once I do, you really have to consider the whole process in addition to the end result when you think of experiences like that. And honestly, if you still want to be stubborn and hard-headed and you're like, no, I want to have control over everything, just realize that it won't end positively. You'll drive people away. You'll miss out on opportunities because you're so hyper focused on being in control of everything. And you have to let it go. You have to learn to be flexible. You have to learn to shift when you need to shift and flex when you need to flex, because life is changing and uncertain in so many ways. And despite trying to be in control of so many things, a lot of times if you just let it go and just kind of take a deep breath and realize that and have faith that you're still going to make it through, even if you only have control over half of the things that are happening in your life, you'll have a great life. You'll enjoy it. And I know it's going to be really hard. Believe me, it's really hard for me. But the thing that's worked best for me is to just dig deep and have faith that it's still going to work out. And that if the control that you're trying to have is over someone else, you definitely have to give that up. People have to learn from their own mistakes, their own experiences. And if it's your children, that's really hard for me because, I have a child, she's almost a teenager, and there's a lot of times where I do want to control, but then there's been a lot of times where I haven't, because I want her to go through experiences in a safe environment. Like, she's not going to get hurt or anything, but she's gotten hurt, like scraped her knee and stuff like that, but you know what I mean? And just let her have those experiences and face the consequences if she makes the wrong choice. And so outside of that, I just think that you can't have control over other people, and you can't control every situation, every outcome. You can try hard. It'll drive you crazy. It'll increase your anxiety and your stress to a point where you won't really be able to enjoy most of the things in your life because you're so focused on trying to always have control over everything. So I encourage you, take a breath, have faith that life is still going to be good and enjoyable despite the control that you may not have, and just let it go. You have to let it go. And I feel like everyone has to find their own way to release it and know that it's going to be okay. But I do know for sure that it's a baby step process. Maybe you're always in control of holidays, right? Well, maybe you allow someone else to step in and help you with a few tasks. And then every holiday becomes more and more and more. And then maybe all of a sudden you let someone else have that holiday. And then maybe as the year goes on, you're like, okay, how about you have this other holiday? And then maybe by the end of the year, by the next year, you don't host any holidays that year. You don't have any say in it because someone else wants to. And that's just assuming that other people want to do it and they're fine with it. That you see what I mean? You're just incrementally allowing yourself to have less and less control over things that you normally feel like you need to have control over things, and see how you feel and continue to build on that and become easy going with that and just become comfortable with that. And then you're there in that sweet spot of letting go of control. Well, you guys, that's it. Thank you so much for listening to the Real Positive Girl podcast. My name is Sabrina. I hope that you really enjoyed this episode. I am so sorry. You hear all of these bumps and everything sometimes in the podcast if you've listened before, and it's because if this podcast was recorded, you would see that I talk with my hands so much. Even though I know that I'm not recording a video, I'm literally right now my hands are up in the air, and so sometimes when I get really passionate and I hit it on the desk that I have all my equipment set up on. Anyway, I apologize. I need to figure that out. But then also I get so passionate in what I'm talking about that having to backtrack and re-record it without the sound, it's just plus I'm all about honesty and transparency and authenticity. If something really bad happens, I will usually go back and re-record, but things like that, I'm just it's okay. This is real life. Anyway, I hope that doesn't bother you guys, but anyway, I hope you really enjoyed this episode. I hope that you come back and listen to the rest of the episodes for this week, talking about regaining self-worth. Come visit me on Instagram, which is at Sabrina Joy Perozzo. And you're welcome to check the description box for notes for the show. Also, my email address for any questions, comments, concerns, or prayer requests, feedback, topics, suggestions, whatever you want to tell me, either in my email or on my Instagram. You guys, I hope you have an amazing Monday, an amazing rest of your week, and I hope that you come back. But until then, have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.